All right, I'm going to have to sort of wing this, not being able to hear myself. Fortunately, this means there is no echo, because if it doesn't have, if the game isn't echoing myself, then it's not going to mix it in with the auto. Anyway, welcome. This is what computers do. You operate them the same exact way as last time, and something different happens. So, I have good news. I was able to regrow all of the rubber that I needed. Also, I'll get to this in a moment, I did a little bit of exploring. Oh, this is one of the things I found. I have this angelic feather. Protects me from falls at the expense of hunger, which means if I fall an extreme distance, the damage comes off of my hunger bar first. And only hurts me if I'm starving, which is very useful. It also lets me jump extra high. So this fence is no longer an issue for me. The other thing I found is, scroll down, these kitty slippers. Creepers run away from cats in regular Minecraft, and these kitty slippers will make them run away from me, which are, this is an incredibly convenient artifact, probably the most all-around useful one. Yes, having the rubber back is a good thing. And I am not going to craft any upgrades while this is in my inventory. So now let's go to work making the Capacitatoes, or at least setting up the recipe for it. Here is my auto crafter. Here's one of two auto crafters. This is the one I used to finish the recipe for my cod and chips, which has finished. I have plenty of recipe space. So what do I need recipe-wise? I need some lead lumps, and I need cured rubber. I need redstone dust, so that means I'm going to have to extract this. It also accidentally withdrew one block. That's not a problem at all. You can go here. Stick that back in. What else do I need? They also meow whenever I get hurt, which it's kind of cute at first. It rapidly turns annoying. Fortunately, the primary reason I get hurt is I walk off of a step that's slightly too high, but I don't take damage from that anymore. Oh, and I need potatoes. I need 3,000 potatoes. Let's get 3,000 potatoes. Where can I get 3,000 potatoes? How about right here? Let me get another box and leave that there. Let's see, 3,000. I will need a copper upgrade because it only holds 2,000. And I have several already in stock. I have disassembled some things in the meantime. Actually, just keep clicking this until it's down to about 4,000, because that's subtraction. All these potatoes. More than enough, actually, too much. I have not actually tamed. Well, they're not dogs, they are technically wolves, but they're dogs. If they can be tamed, they're not wolves. I'm going to stick this. Oh, it could really go anywhere here. Wink. Oh yes, I can jump so high. It's something special. Thunk. And that didn't even hurt me, it just made me hungry. All right. I will put that there. I'm going to memorize these. Now, these 4 slots are guaranteed to hold. Those 4 items can't hold anything else. This way I can't accidentally have one of those drawers flood every single slot here and botch my recipes. I will memorize this recipe. I will apply it. I said apply. Yes, I said apply. What am I forgetting? It's giving me the wrong kind of lead nugget. Oh, this is... Oh, that was most bizarre. Here we go. Apply that. Yes. Quite often, multiple mods will add identical resources, and there are often, when in a combined mod pack like this, there are intelligent conversions that get put in by the mod's authors, and this one apparently didn't quite take. But I have fixed it, and now I need to put the output over here. That means I need another 1x1. Nothing is in my inventory. This means I'm not going to accidentally overcraft something. Yes, let's see. Lead nuggets. So in the database, well, that's really strange. It has tried to elide the other sort. And the ingot as well. A JEI does not necessarily show every single item in the database. Some things are kept out on purpose, either because they are meant to be secrets or they're unimplemented, or in the case of fireworks, it's just there are thousands of combinations because every single, not just dye color, but ordering of dye color that makes a different color burst is technically a separate crafting recipe, and you would have hundreds of pages of nothing but fireworks recipes, and that's not tenable as part of your user interface. So I was going to make one more 1x1 oak storage drawer, but not storage drawer. It's functional storage. And I do have my copper upgrade, which I need to hit the 3,000 point. I'm going to need more because these don't stack. That's okay. Each of these is an 8 times multiplier, and they are exponentially cumulative. I will simply put 2 of them in. Why have you stopped functioning? You should not have stopped functioning. You have stopped functioning because you have run out of ingredients, and I never told your drawers to pipe their ingredients into you. I need to configure... Is this going to pull blocks? Yes, it is. I need to stop that. I'm going to stop that by locking these filters to, well, really anything. Say dirt, for example. Memorize that. Now these are the only items that can be accepted into this device. And now I should only get dust and not blocks. If I can aim at the bottom of this pipe. Or just rebuild it. Now I have dust coming in. Same thing here. This is locked to nuggets. And that's potatoes. Oh, and in going through the video for last time, I have to apologize. I didn't realize just how loud this distributor was, so I have packed it almost full of muting upgrades. And if it's still too loud, I can stick in the last one and completely silence it. I'm just so used to tuning that out that I did not notice how distracting it was for most of the recordings from last week. I need one more of these copper upgrades. I have one more. And that should get me up to 3,000? No, 2,000. This is rather slow. I think that's fine. Oh, there's also a problem. I need to disable this connection. Because I have had a bunch of stuff go in that container by accident. What I should have used was the bigger item pipe for this. It funnels things in faster. I don't want this. I want a gold upgrade, because I believe a copper times a gold will cross 3,000. And the copper is part of the recipe for the gold. And after this I will sleep. Really have put this in an odd place. I can now hold 4,000. Excellent. I will now craft all of these. And once those are done, I will do the final step of charging it. But for now... Wow, that is slow. Actually, for now, I'm not going to wait for that. Do I have advanced logistical transporters? I do. These basic item pipes are going away. You get advanced pipes. Put the lead back in the box of lead, get my comparator. Sorry, my configurator. Comparators are coming up next. First thing is break this link. Now how are things going? That's much nicer. That click. That's the click I was talking about. Trying to completely silence you. There. Now to sleep, and now to start on Botania. And the first thing I need to do is make a pure daisy. Actually, the first thing I need to do is make a petal apothecary, which takes a bunch of cobblestone and one mystical petal of any color. Where's my floral pouch? Botania is a mod based on flowers and mana. And despite mana, it's actually called a tech mod, at least by its creator. Now, when you have some mods like Industrial Foregoing, where it has a bunch of boxes, each fairly simple and very direct and dedicated to a common Minecraft activity. You know, grow mushrooms, feed livestock, scoop lava. Then there's other things like Mechanism, where you have additional activities, like you can pump heavy water out of a water pool and then split it into oxygen and deuterium, and then you can also pump water into a pair of evaporating towers, turn it into brine, turn the brine into lithium, use solar power to extract tritium from that, and now you have fuel for your fusion reactor, which, by the way, you also have to build, as well as the supercharging laser, because you can't just turn on a fusion reaction, you have to shock it with a massive instantaneous jolt of power from an overcharged laser. And even though these are not typical Minecraft activities, unless they're planning something for version 1.21 they haven't announced yet, they're still very direct in what the machines do. And then you have things like Botania, where it's mostly a toolbox of, in many cases, hard to manipulate devices. Somewhere there's a spider, but that's okay. So you'll have something that spreads mana, and sometimes it'll spread it automatically in pulses if it's aimed at something that can use mana. Or you could also make a manual mana spreader where you give it a redstone pulse, and then it shoots some mana at whatever the spreader is pointing at. Maybe it's a tree, and that mana will fly across the air, and it will hit the tree, and it will do absolutely nothing, because mana doesn't do anything to trees. But you can add lenses to that mana spreader to make your mana pulse bigger but slower, or smaller but capable of traveling farther distances before it attenuates and loses power. Or maybe do other things like fall under the effects of gravity rather than going straight, or pass through blocks, or bounce off blocks. Or you can make that mana pulse damage mobs that it hits or destroy blocks that it runs into. And so you can take your mana spreader and make it create deadly ricocheting pink pulses of mana. Oh yes, you can dye them too. You can make your mana pink if you want. And you might say to yourself, what exactly would I do with some deadly ricocheting pink balls of mana? And the answer to that is whatever you want to do with it. It's your game. I don't know what you're building. This is Minecraft. It's a garden sandbox creation game. If you ever find yourself in need of deadly ricocheting pink balls of mana, you've got them at your fingertips, just waiting for you. So the petal apothecary I will make right now. Boom, there it is. And this is the core. There you are. Here you are, because you can climb walls. Now, this is my house. Let me see, where is a good spot for this? Actually, somewhere over here? And you're also going to see... Yeah, somewhere around here is good. And the first thing I have to do is pour water into it. This is your flower constructing machine. And I say machine in finger quotes. Do I have more than one bucket? Yes. I will want 2 buckets because I want infinite water. Because when it comes to water in Minecraft, 1 plus 1 equals infinity. If you lay it out right. There we go, infinite water. Water will fill holes in itself if it's next to 2 other sources of water. So I scoop that out and it refills. So the first step is you fill it with water. The second step, what do I need? I need 4 white petals. Do I have... I have some form of white. In fact, I have... Alright. I don't have many white petals. Fortunately, you can grow any flower out of more of itself once you have bone meal. So let me go get some bone meal. I'll just grab an entire stack from my nearly full box over here, which I have otherwise turned off. Missed the jump. But yeah, this jump is ridiculous. Sorry if I'm getting anyone dizzy, but that's just fun. Petal, bone meal, big flower. Every big flower is worth... Oh, the big flowers went into my flower pouch. There is a way to stop them from going directly into there, but I don't remember what it is. A tall flower is worth 4 petals. That is exactly what I need. So first you start with water. Next thing you do is... yes, you throw them in. Other Minecraft mods, you right-click. That didn't do anything. Actually, it went into the ground right here, because that intercepted the click signal. Not a problem at all. I just have to, again, go in here, find the flower I planted and picked up. So yeah, there's a distinct look and feel to the user interface here. There are no inventories. You cannot pipe objects in and out. And that makes it hard, because if you want to put flowers into this, you have to have like a dropper, and you can't just constantly have them falling in. You have to send redstone signals to a dropper. And as far as hand throwing it, you might... Well, that went in, but like maybe... Oh, in previous versions, it was easy to miss. And so what people generally did fairly soon was they wouldn't put it up here, they would put it in the ground, and they'd build a backstop, because form follows from function. And it was simply... It didn't look as good, which is a shame, but it was much harder to accidentally overshoot and throw your petal to the wind. So all flowers, they start with water, then the ingredients in any order, and finally the wheat seed, and that's how you make a flower. And this is a pure daisy. I'm going to put it... Oh, heck, I don't know. Here? And the job of a pure daisy is to turn any kind of wood into living wood, and any kind of stone into... I don't know if it's living stone or living rock. I'll let you make the joke if it turns out to be living stone. So, the 8 neighboring blocks, and it takes 2 minutes real time, so I'll come back to that, and in the meanwhile check on my rubber plant. I'm already up to 2.6 thousand capacitatoes. Excellent, that's almost done. And then I am going to put them in here. actually, where's my axe? I'm going to put the input box in that spot. Because this particular quest, I am not yet done with this potato. I need to charge this. Okay, technically I don't. I happen to know that the quest turn-in logic in this version of Enigmatica is broken. That tonking was the stone converting behind me, which I'll check in a moment. But I happen to know that it will actually accept these if I don't charge them completely, but I'm not going to cheese that. It was intended to work, and it does work in previous versions. Okay, see. That has changed. That's not regular stone anymore. So once this is done, and that's actually done, that's done enough. Yeah, I'm going to stop it. I don't need extra of these like I needed with the food. That's going to go here. And I'm going to need a pusher and a puller. And also another copper and another gold. Because I need room in that other drawer for the output. This particular drawer has nothing in it. Ah, there's a pusher. So yes, I can now safely use that drawer as an ingredient. I need 2 of these, and I need now to turn one of them. Hello, Doug Beal. Welcome. Actually, I thought ahead. I already have the puller here. Excellent. And I'm pulling from the east, and this one's pushing west, so I had it set up. I just didn't account for the fact I would have put them in a different box somewhere else. And... Alright, take this out. You see, the problem is I need to make sure the shelves are the drawers are locked to only accept completely charged potatoes. I'm going to have to let this first batch completely... I guess the word bake is the right word. This here is actually discharging. Oh, that makes sense. This can only charge 1,000 per tick. Each of these takes 40, which is slow. That's the reason I'm doing an entire chest up at once, is I can only charge each one by 40 per tick. If I had to charge these one at a time, it would take many, many, many hours. I don't want it to do that. I put these somewhere. And they will only stack in these drawers if they have identical charges with each other, because that's how the data structures work. So I am a little stuck with this excess. It's a regular chest. You will do for now. I'm going to have to manually unclog this starting clog. almost full. You're also a chest. Little bit of emergency repair on the production line. I cannot quite make that jump. Very important that you get your filters locked before anything happens. Alright, this is full. Now that this is full, I can put that in here, and I can safely put the puller upgrade in. And now this will not pull anything out until it is completely charged, because it doesn't match what's already in the drawer otherwise. Still couldn't quite make the jump. One, two, three, four. Oops, plunk. 1, 2, 3. That is another reason I extended the height of this tower. I didn't want my power generation to be the bottleneck. Right now, this spreader can only output 1,000 per tick. The next tier up is 10,000, which is a lot more than I need. I think 800 goes to about here. And so 1,000 is almost the entire thing. It's about 25. Oh yeah, it would make sense that it would be 25 slots instead of 27. So it just didn't seem reasonable to me to multiply my power output by 10 to cover 2 more slots. Just waiting on this is fine. 91. Meanwhile, no, I will just wait for this. I don't have the space in my inventory to take that stone in. Go, 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 go. Now I do. So there's the stone. Let's start converting some wood. And the next thing I need is to make mana. And the first mana making flower I'm going to make is the only one that doesn't need you to already have some mana, and that is the Exo Lily? Wait. Exotherm? The Exoflame. The Exoflame will burn furnace fuel and turn it into mana. Here we go. That's everything is set over here now. That should work just fine. I leave that go, and it's going to run out of potatoes at some point. If I hear things stop buzzing, I can still hear that click. Does that not have 4 mufflers in it? Oh, it's the crusher that I hear. Well, I can work on that as well. Silenced. Silence, Foul Crusher. Living Rock. Yes, you don't get to make the joke. What does our Exoflame need? Oh no, the Endoflame. The Exoflame creates power. The Endoflame needs 2 brown, a red, and a light gray. Two brown. Where is my brown? A red. That is gray. That's light gray. In fact, I'm going to make 2 of them. I should get out a second brown. In fact, I should get out all 3 browns. And make more. You don't want to use your last one. So, first step, water. Second step, throw. Last step, wheat seeds. I think there's a brief period where you can, yes, right-click with an empty hand to repeat the last recipe if you happen to have it. So, buy 2 Endoflames, and they're going to go... Oh... Those are going to get used. You should be over here, slightly more out of the way. Thank you. Bump. Oh, that's fine. And now, well, where are they going to send mana to? Well, they're going to send mana to a pool, which I have to make. A mana pool needs 5 living rock. Fortunately, I have 8. And I'm also going to need a mana spreader. Which is living wood and a gold ingot and any color petal. And finally, I'm going to want a Wand of the Forest. Which is some living wood twigs. I'm going to need more living wood. What else do I need? I'm going to want a dropper so I can regularly drop charcoal onto those flowers. Do I have any droppers? I do. I have 5. I only need 1. And do I have a timer? Now, there are more complicated ways, better, more robust ways of automatically detecting when these are out of fuel. But I'm going to do a timer just because it's easy to do the mental math on having 2 of these. And I'm going to put... Oh, there we go. Conversion. Let's see. If these are going to be here, I'm going to put the other better flower here, or maybe there, or maybe there. In any event, this will be close enough. I'm going to want things to fill as fast as possible, and that actually means having the spreader point directly up at it, because the spreader doesn't actually have to be in line of sight. And it doesn't seem like it would matter, but it actually does. And now I need, I believe, 2 more twigs? This wand is the wrench. It's the Botania wrench. And in fact, I'm going to replant these flowers because they bind themselves automatically to the closest spreader. There was no spreader there when I planted them, and I'd have to dig a hole back up to look at where it is in order to bind to them, so this was the fastest way of doing that. Get myself something with which I can place my dispenser, my dropper against, because it should be pointing downward. No, let's put it here. And that goes there. And big stack of charcoal, which I probably made several episodes ago. And this is set to be too fast. Now, if each of those normally burns for 80 seconds, flowers burn it for half that, which is 40, and I have 2 of them, I want a 20-second delay. Again, here we go. I should wait until those stop, and I can restart this at a good spot. And you can see, look at all that mana. And here's another thing about Botania. The dev didn't want you to care about numbers and such. So there's no pipe sending this mana across. It's just going. And how much mana does this have? Well, there's this bar. And when the bar is full, the pool is full. Well, how much is that? Well, it's 1 pool's worth. You can look up the numbers on a wiki or several reference sites, or just look at the source code. And that's kind of useful because this pool is so big, you will not get a good impression as to which flowers are fast and which ones are slow, because all of them take so long to make the pool look any fuller than this. The pool, in fact, takes 1 million mana. Each of these only makes 30 per second. Is that 30? Or is it 30 per 2 seconds? No, it's 30 per second. It takes one of these flowers 9 hours and 14 minutes to fill this pool. Now, generally, players, they mass produce these basic flowers. They use 12, they use 2 dozen, they use 3 dozen. It's easy to brute force an entire field of them. And it's not like charcoal is complex, and there are tree farms you can make that produce tons of charcoal, but still, 30 per second, going for 1 million. Oh, did I tell you I need to fill this pool 19.5 times to infuse all of the string that I need? This mana-infused string, I need 19.5 pools of mana at 9.25 hours each. That's if I use one of these flowers. I'm not using these flowers. Fortunately, there are about a dozen other ways to generate mana. There is a flower that eats slime. There is a flower that eats cake. There's a flower that will take experience from the ground before you can get it. There's one that runs off of a variant of Conway's Game of Life. I believe I've told Shateri about it because I know that he's very much into that sort of math stuff, and so am I. To be fair, there's one that eats explosions. It's the Entropinium. You put some TNT down next to it, and you set it off, and it goes kaboom. Except it doesn't go kaboom. You get the sound, but you don't get an explosion. You just get a flower full of mana. Unless you haven't pulled all of the mana out from last time, in which case you do get an explosion and a valuable life lesson. But I'm going to make the Gormaryllis, which eats food, and I'm doing that because I have a surplus of some incredibly nutritious food from some of the other quests I've done, and the more nutritious the food is, the more mana it's worth, and it's exponential, so I've got a lot of valuable food on hand. Now the Gormaryllis, it needs 2 yellow petals and a red petal and a light gray petal and runes of summer and of fire. This is a more advanced flower. I'm going to have to make some runes. And to make some runes, I'm going to have to make I believe it's called the runic altar. The runic altar. And that is crafted from... I first have to throw a diamond or a regular diamond or an ender pearl into the pool to infuse it. And I also need 5 living rock. That means I need to get some more rock infusing. How are you doing over here? Still cooking. It only works on 8 at a time, the 8 horizontal neighbors. How are we doing up here? $74? Why are you not pushing things? Is that west? That is west. You should be pushing things to the west. That... Nope, that is too slow. Sorry, that's unacceptable. Tell you what. You get to go here. And I get to use a mechanism pipe. Because I have no idea why that pusher was not filling that chest. Not the mechanical pipe. The logistical transporter. This was an unexpected failure to operate. Configurator. There we go. Much, much better. And I can take this away because it's not working. Stick that in my inventory later. And now we have almost the ingredients. One diamond. See? I missed. I don't have a backstop here. There we go. This also has the problem. You cannot right-click things into it. You throw them or you drop them. It's very visceral. Runic altar. Make one. I'm also going to have to make more living wood because I will need a second mana spreader. You need one spreader to collect mana from your flowers and put it in the pool, you need another spreader to take things out of your pool and send them somewhere else. It's pretty picky about that. You cannot short circuit any of those steps. I have some chips I can turn in. Or have I turned them in? I thought I had them. Oh, I do have them. Let's turn in some chips. Let's hold down the left button too hard and accidentally break things. Manual clicking. Oh no, I'm drowning in chips. Don't worry, I'll eat my way out. Submit. And submit again, because I've just picked up several thousand. And one more. Task completed. Do-do-do-do. Yes, where do I have that reference book? It should be in my inventory. Oh, it's the Akashic Tome, which is the universal merged. Left click to return it to base. Right click. I don't know how to fix this bug where this fancy graphic appears over the books. These tend to be sorted in the alphabetical order of the mod they're from. So Botania is here, it's close to the beginning. Yes, generating flora. Oh, the Munchdew eats leaves, the Narslimus is the one that eats slime. Thermalily eats lava. It's actually fairly slow long term. Oh, the Hydrangea. The Hydrangea eats water, and I thought it was discontinued. There were a couple of alternative early flowers in earlier versions of the mod. One was solar, one was night powered, it was the exact opposite, and there was the Hydrangea, which consumed water, but they were all deliberately temporary. They died after 3 game days. And at some point the dev decided, you know, I'm just not going to bother. I have the timing on this wrong, if they are not consuming that fast enough. Let's try doubling it. Go for a total of 40. 41 is close enough. So make the second spreader. I still have 1 white petal, and it needs any color petal. And I need 1 gold ingot. So set up my spreader. It has to start next to this. It starts out pointing it towards me. The altar I'm going to put here, just so I have more of a walkway space. Now, which runes did I need for the Gormaralis? Rune of Fire is part of the first tier runes. They're based on the 4 Aristotelian elements. Earth, Air, Water, and Ouch. And I think the Rune of Mana is the 5th one that's added. The second tier is the Seasons, and I believe there is a 3rd tier that is the 7 Deadly Sins. So the Rune of Summer needs 2 sand, a slime, a melon slice, because you eat melon in the summertime, and also a rune of earth and a rune of air. Oh, what do those need? The rune of earth, all of the first tier runes need some gunpowder or redstone dust or glowstone dust that you've infused with mana. Iron you've infused with mana. And so the runic altar, I'm going to in total need 3 redstone dust, 3 iron. So let's start with that. Redstone dust is going to be this. You can turn off. You and you can come with me, because you are done serving your purpose in my auto crafter. Simple drawer. Simple drawer, that's the lead. I'm backwards. The simple drawer is the redstone, which I put here. It doesn't actually matter, but I want to put them back where I had them, so I don't get confused. I have taken them out, so I have to reestablish their presence as part of the network. Now that they're back in, excellent. So I need 2 dust. Actually, I need 3 dust. I need 3 iron. That can turn back on. So, back to Rune of Air. I did need air. That doesn't look like the recipe I remember. I needed the Rune of Summer, which is earth and air. Okay, so air, string, feather, any carpet, and 1 of each of these. That's those 2. I need a string, a feather, and any carpet. There's a string. There's a feather. There's a carpet. Throw the string on. Throw the feather on. Throw the carpet on. It is now charging with mana. When it's done, flowers need you to finish with a seed. Runes need you to finish with some rock, which has to be right-clicked on, apparently, and then zapped with your wand. That's my runes of air. Earth needs any mushroom, a stone, and a block of coal, plus the usual 1 of those and 1 of those. So my stone is there. My coal... it has to be coal specifically, not charcoal. Charcoal. I will have to make a block of coal. That's easy. Done. And a mushroom. Done. Search. And now I can actually make my Rune of Summer, 2 sand, a slime ball, 1 melon slice, and 1 of each of these. Two sand. That's easy. 1, 2. A melon slice. And a slime. I have 52 slime. I don't remember getting that many. But I must have. See, it's a neat idea, Dev, but I need to build a backstop. I keep missing. I'll never play for the Lakers. One kind of neat thing is when you upgrade runes, you get the ingredients, the previous runes back. So you never actually want to use your last primary rune. So that's the hard ones. The Rune of Fire is another first tier one. So I need, again, my last mana steel ingot, my last mana powder. Last for now, I can easily make more. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Get on there. Thank you. How is that still too fast? I can't have the delay wrong, can I? Gunpowder, I have Nether brick. Nether brick. I believe my exact words were something along the lines of, if I ever need a single block of netherrack, I know where to find it. Run away from my slippers! Run away from my kitty slippers! Okay, the zombie doesn't run away. There you are. Thomas, said the conductor, it's your time to shine. Kitty slippers are amazing. I went into one of the alternate temple structures that one of these mods added, and I'm looking around, I'm seeing a bunch of chests and no obvious traps, and I just happened to turn around and look up, and I saw a half a dozen creepers on a hidden ledge that were designed to drop down behind you if you're unexpecting them. And they were all cowering at the back of their little cubby holes because I had slippers on and they didn't dare drop down on me. It was the best feeling in the world. One nether brick. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. One nether brick. One gunpowder. And one nether wart. I think was the last one. And now, oops, I have accidentally taken off the last one. Put it back on. I don't have netherwort. How do I make netherwort? Well, if I have a block of 9, I can unmake it. If I had one already, I can grow more in a garden cloche or a phytogenic insulator. That doesn't help me when I don't have one. I can turn red mushrooms into it if I had built up nature's aura infrastructure. An alchemy table comes from a magic mod I've never worked with. These are just alternate craftings. If I have a blaze rod and an alchemy catalyst, I can turn it into netherwort with Botania, but I don't have one of these, and it's going to take a while to make one. I can crush a netherwort block into maybe get netherwort, but I'd have to make 2 giant crushing wheels. So it looks like I'm going to have to go to the Nether and do a lot of searching and finally hit that Nether fortress, which means probably making a jetpack, because there's no way in JEI to make netherwort. Or is there? These are compacting drawers. You see, I use them. They let you automatically translate between 2 ingredients. That you can turn the smaller one into the bigger one in a 2x2 or a 3x3 conversion. Like 9 nuggets makes you 1 ingot, 9 ingots makes you a block. But they can even do things like nether quartz. Now, in vanilla Minecraft, 4 nether quartz can craft into a block, but you can't get them back. It's a one-way conversion. But it's 2 ways. These drawers do the conversion in both directions, and netherwort has a 2x2 block form. It's the crimson fungus block. And I have seen crimson fungus blocks. They are in that dungeon on that 5th floor that's decorated with the Nether style wall motif. And I've seen a shortcut into that dungeon. So I suspect, do I have any compacting drawers spare? No, I will have to make one. Here's one. I can easily do that. I have to make my piston first. And some more source drawers to use as crafting material. All right, here is... I don't even have to link it to the rest because I'm just going to use this very fast. I truly expect this to work since those drawers work on so much else. Oh, this thing is an apotheosis boss. This goat. This thing, I tried to kill it. I couldn't touch it. It has 336 hit points and so much armor that I can barely hurt it. So I just left it alone. And so you can see over here, this is where he went down before. When I first got my dripstone, I got it from down over here. It was mixed in with these striations of ochrum, which is a mostly ornamental rock that create ads. In fact, I have been down here also looking for some redstone, and this waterfall just naturally goes onto the roof. So this is a super shortcut. Welcome to floor 5 of the dungeon. This right here. I think this will decompress in my compacting drawer into netherwort. it doesn't eat. Fortunately for me, it doesn't attack either, so it won't benefit from any ungodly powered weapons it might have spawned with. Goats will occasionally butt you if you get near them, and I don't know that that gets the attack bonuses. Let's hope this works, because if it does, I don't have to go into the Nether. Oh dear, it doesn't work. That is unfortunate. Yeah, it in fact doesn't uncraft. I expected this would work. So, do we make a jetpack? Because I need that nether wart. Looks like we're making a jetpack, folks. Slight diversion. What does the jetpack need? Lots of iron and lots of redstone. Fortunately, I have lots. We start with a wood jetpack. We'll need lots of wood. I can do that. Let's first put lots of wood into the system. The leather strap. Done. A wood capacitor and a wood thruster. The wood thruster needs 2 furnaces. Done. Well, 2 wood thrusters. Nether wart with the A. It might actually be with an O. I need a basic cell. Take that wood rod out. Where is a stick? Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think each step needs 11 of those. And the wood energy cell. So I need to make 2 of these now. Can I? 1, 2, yes. And then finally a wood capacitor. I need 3 more wood energy cells. That must have been close because I have turned the volume for that down. Craft 1. And then finally put it together. And yes, there's even a quest for that. What does it give me? Is it under adventure? No. Challenges, tools, and armor. Tools? Oh, yes. Oh, it just gives me a random loot box. A Heart of the Sea. That is very rare, and I have no use for it. Oh, and terracotta. Not rare at all, and I have no use for it. Let me upgrade this at least once. And it can be used to make stone or copper. Copper holds more power. Let's go copper. Since I have the copper, I actually have more copper than I have stone. So again, I'm going to need 11 basic cells. When all is said and done. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. I'm going to need to make 2 more furnaces. One, two. Copper backpack. Quest completed. You're going to give me more experience. I don't need experience. And then I need to charge it. Speaking of charging, I'm sure my generator needs more fuel. And this goes into its own dedicated slot over here? Yes. And now I need to turn the keys for it back on. So I turned them off because they were conflicting with other keybinds. Oh, category, yes. Iron jetpacks. What is a good engine toggle? Show my conflicts. You can clear out for now. Ars Nouveau. I never use hotkeys to scroll through my Ars Nouveau spells. I'm not even using that. I'm not using that at all. Done. And I really need to turn hover mode on. Excellent. Alrighty. Pop it off. This should be all I need. So now, let's head for the Nether. And hope that there's a fortress where I think there is, and that it has netherwort. And, oh, I could have sworn I put a chest here for excursions. I am going to travel light. Just in case I die, I will lose minimal stuff. In fact, I don't even need pickaxes. I'll want the arrows. I am bringing food this time. That was my mistake last time. I'm I'm going to leave the flower because I have a jetpack and I shouldn't take any fall damage unless I'm dumb and don't leave it on. It doesn't use energy unless I'm actively floating or flying, so... And I have my shield. Good. Shield and magic helmet. And when I say I'm bringing food, I mean I'm bringing more than one steak. One steak is a snack. Here we go. Why are you in my house? Just don't touch anything. Where do I think this nether fortress is? Over here. This is distinctly... Also, those pigs are very loud. I will turn them down in a second. All right. Engines are on. How did you open that? Keep it off, just so I don't use power jumping up steps. Oh, you're a wither skeleton. You're not going to be impressed. I need to wait for this wither to wear off. Oh, it's worn off already. Excellent. That's the waypoint I'm going to. Fascinating. Is it above me? Is it below me? Oh no, that is not my waypoint. Nether Fortress ho! And now find a way down. Lava, lava everywhere. No stairs? There should be interior. Then again, I have not seen all of this. You're not a wither skeleton. You're fine. I see something I would normally be excited to see, which is the blaze spawner. And I didn't bring my silk touch pickaxe. Silly me. Somewhere over here. I'm looking for paths down. The alternative is make those giant crushing wheels. But that's a bit of a bother. Do I have stairs down at the end of this hallway? No, I have stairs up in a blaze spawner. And I have no fire resistance, so that can just stay there. I hope I don't need to find another nether fortress. That would be silly. That is just a post. That ahead of me looks like something solid. And I didn't bring a pickaxe. Oh, I am stupid. I should have brought a pickaxe. And they should have sent a poet. Is there any way down? Jetpacks rule. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Hello, Blaze. Going this way. I should be looking in these, because these might have nether wart. No. At least that one didn't. I saw one other chest. I'm getting some terrible frame rates, too. Let me shrink things a little. Try to eke some performance out. No nether wart in there. Nether wart. Done, done, done. And now I wish my warpstone worked, but it doesn't. So I get to fly home. And home is that direction. Alright, that was less painful than I expected. They found us. I'm not going to mess with a ghast today. Pick up my backpack, put it on, sort my stuff. And this can go here. 2, 3. First thing I'm going to do, get some more nether wart growing. Could be anywhere. It's going to be there. Store that, store that. Store that. Store one of these. And the last one goes over here as my final ingredient. That was rewarding. I couldn't possibly have used the last of my living rock. I didn't. I put it in here. And finally, time to make a Gormerolus. Rune of summer, rune of fire, yellow, yellow. Oh, yellow, yellow, light gray, red. But I also stick the runes in my... No, I need... Oh, there is the summer, yes. First of all, apothecaries always need water to start with. Summer and fire, and a red and 2 yellow, and 2 light gray. Alright, there's my 2 light gray. There's going to be my red. No. Go there, thank you. And, finally, oh, I can throw them directly from here. 1 Cormeralis. Good. And it's going to go also sort of over here. But first there are some other things I have to make. Sort of there? That's too close. That's better. Yes, things are kind of crowded. They're going to get crowdeder. You? I'm doing this for you. I'm not bothering you. You can just keep staying here, but you owe me one. I need... I'm going to cycle between 4 different kinds of food. Now the reason is, this eats food. If you give it the same kind of food over and over, the second time it will make half as much mana, the third time it will make a third as much, fourth time is a quarter, and you rapidly approach 0. So at the very least you have to bounce between 2 different kinds of food. But if you can actually cycle through more than 2 consistently, you actually get a bonus. And it's just as easy to cycle around 4 as it is to cycle between 2 with the way I planned to do this. That I may as well do that. And for that I'm going to need 4 droppers. Now the brute force method, I have 4 droppers, would be to put a timer on these, like I do with feeding the livestock, like I did with the dropping the charcoal on the Endoflames. The problem is, and I did that with the rice cookers as well, the string of 5 of them, but the rice took 5 seconds to cook, and I knew that. I don't know how long it's going to take to make enough mana to, let's see, it's going to take, I believe, 6 seconds. 6, maybe 7 seconds. Oh, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. I am going to have a simple timer on this one. It's going to take just maybe 7 or 8 seconds. It's the dropping the string into the pool that's going to get trickier, but that'll come in a moment. I'm going to use an... Is it an animated torch? It's an animated torch, which is a special redstone torch from Botania that will spin either between 2 or between 4 directions, or possibly randomly. I'm not going to use the random. And I'm going to use the hovering hourglass, which is Botania's redstone timer. So I'm going to have to infuse 2 glass, 1 iron, and 1 kind of dust. Two, 1, 2 glass. Once again, that timing is off. Did I get it? I got it that time. Hovering hourglass. Take that. Now the animated torch, it needs either a manual mana pulse to rotate, or it needs the hovering hourglass. And you cannot activate it with an ordinary redstone timer, but the hourglass is a special case. The mods dev has made it work anyway. And now let's come over here. If that's where I'm going to plant the flower, I want the dropper to be kind of over it. I still have a jetpack. I'm going to turn that off. And my 4 droppers will be... Does this point them down? It points them down. Those can go back in there. And in here is going to go the animated torch. And I'm going to set it to toggle is flipping between 2 that are 180 degrees apart. I want it 90 degrees, so it hits all 4 of them. And above it, I am going to put my hovering hourglass. And again, there's no UI for this. I don't click things up or down. What I do is, if I want a 7-second delay, I put 7 sand in it. Each sand is 1 second. If I need an extra long delay, I can use, I think red sand is 5 or 10 seconds each, soul sand is 1 minute each. I can make a literal hourglass by putting 60 soul sand in it, because that's a 60-minute delay. And you can see, every time it flips over, the torch rotates 90 degrees and will make a dropper drop the food that's in it. So now, I'm going to take all of this extra food I have. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I want to maximize, see this here is 6 icons of food, which is 12 points. That is the maximum. More than that gets treated as 12. And that's going to produce, it's actually going to make more mana than this flower itself can hold. So that 50% bonus I told you about earlier, I'm not actually going to get it from this food. I'm only going to get it from some of the other filler food. Likewise, my stuffed potato. I'm going to put my stuffed potato in here. And I'm going to fill the other 2 with actually just regular steak, I believe. I should be cooking some steak. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My cooker is still on. And And I think I'm going to also cook some of this leftover salmon. Is slightly better than cod once it's cooked. And that's out of salmon. Cod it is. Now, fortunately, I can mix and match as long as I don't put the same thing into adjacent droppers. I will have to tweak those to fish more salmon for me later. And once I have a few of these, I'm going to wait for the salmon to come through so I can show you what the whole display looks like once it runs. And then we're going to debug it. Oh yes. I hope you weren't thinking that was just going to work right out of the box. I am turning this into an ersatz redstone teaching stream. Some of you have never worked with redstone before, and I'm sure you're fascinated and want to learn all about it. I would. So, once I put the sand back in here, this is going to start activating all of those droppers one at a time based on where the redstone torch is pointing. And this flower will make mana. And, well, that didn't look right, did it? That doesn't sound like it's producing mana at full speed. Let's watch what's happening. It's dropping 3 of them. Why is it dropping from more than 1? Now, if you've done any Minecrafting before, you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, that's not going to work. I didn't take into account a little something called quasi-connectivity. The what? Quasi-who? Long story short, there are some blocks in vanilla Minecraft, and this is by design. They don't just activate when you give them a redstone signal. They will also activate if you give a signal to the space above them. No matter what's there, and no matter whether it also did something with it. And remember how I mentioned, you might probably don't remember, mentioned the hourglass is also a redstone timer? Well, it is sending its own redstone signal to all 6 adjacent blocks, and that includes the 4 spaces above these droppers, and that is triggering all of them. Fortunately, there is an easy fix. Move both of these up 1. So I will take that. Give me some kind of spacer. The torch is going to go here. And the hourglass is going to go above it. No, you go there. Oh, that's your entire hitbox? I'm going to have to dig you out from the bottom. Perfect. This will now put all of the potatoes back. Once I then put in... I'm putting in 7 because it takes 6 seconds for the plant to chew the biggest food here. But it also needs time to send its mana to this spreader that's under here. And I can watch the mana amount here. And I want to make sure that that bar always goes down to 0. Before the next one drops, because if you drop food on this while it is still chewing, it'll just completely delete the new food instantly and not give you anything. Wow, that cod is really not filling at all. Ah, there's my problem. I forgot to reset that to a 90-degree rotation. I broke it and rebuilt it, and that reset how much it rotated. So now let's take another look. That's better. That was a nice full bar. That may have been an overfill. I am pretty much all set as far as the mana generation goes. Anyway, one of these makes 30 per second. This can make 9,000 in 6. It's just better. And over here we see, oh, I'm an eighth of the way full. So now we have mana and we can start dropping string in it. Now I can get to talking about what I was talking about before. I could just drop string into this with a timer, like this and like this, except I don't know exactly how fast the mana is coming in. I would have to make a rough estimate and tune it by trial and error, and then if I'm AFKing and one of these things here runs out of food, my mana production will drop, and I'm not actually going to be able to infuse it as fast as possible. Some of my string will just float and not be infused and eventually vanish. So it'd be much more robust if I instead had a way to test whether this pool was full and only drop if there's room available. Where am I going to put the dropper? I'm going to put the dropper there. So I'm not going to use a dropper. I am going to have a funnel drop continuously into, it's called an open crate, which is like a pass-through dropper. And I'm going to need some living wood planks. Can do. And my open crate is going to be fed by a regular hopper. And above that regular hopper is going to be string, which I will make shortly. That can be there. And for the sake of not building it too tall, I will feed it from the side. I will feed it from this side. And as for measuring how full the pool is, I am not going to use any modded stuff for this step to kind of show off what basic Minecraft redstone works like. And I'm going to use the magic that is the redstone comparator. Now, I've used one of these over here before to regulate my coal feed into my Enigmatica stuff. Comparators have 3 explicit uses. They can cut off a weak signal. Oh, I'm dropping things off center. That is one minor issue with droppers. They do not drop things straight down. Well, that's another advantage of this. It does drop things straight down. Anyway, comparators do 3 things. They can cut off weak signals and let strong ones through unaltered, and you get to pick what the distinction is between weak and strong. They can subtract one signal from another, and they can tell how full something like a mana pool is. If you feed a regular signal that you've generated yourself into the back, it will work with that signal. But if you put the back end directly against a crate or a battery or a tank, or pretty much any container from any mod, they're all very good at working with it. In fact, I suspect it's built into the framework, and you can't not make a chest that works with it. You'll get a signal that represents how strong, or represents how full that container is. A completely empty pool will give a strength 0 signal. A utterly full pool will be a strength 15 signal, which is the max, and anything in between. You can see this is power 5 because this pool is a third full. And just to verify with my wand, yep, that looks like about a third. And hoppers are redstone controllable. So I can send this redstone signal up here to the hopper, and, well, this is almost working. The problem is, this is backwards. This is, for a hopper, a redstone signal, it pauses it. I want this signal to be on when the pool is empty-ish, and on and off when the pool is kind of full. So I need to reverse the signal. And fortunately, I can also do that. Let's get this out of the way. Something about... And here's unfortunately one of the less intuitive parts of a redstone, which is any solid block can be powered if a redstone signal goes into it. If you can't walk through it and it blocks light and it's a full-size cube, it goes all the way out to the edge on all 6 sides. If you run redstone signal into it, it becomes powered. You can't tell. It won't look any different. It won't act any different. Good night, Orlando Seabass. Hope you had a good weekend. I see you next week. I think is going to be my last stream for this, because this is working on the mana for the last 2 components, other than baking potatoes, which I'm just going to throw in the baker over there. So I'm almost done, and the reason I'm powering this block is I'm going to put a redstone torch on it. Redstone torches are not always on. They are the opposite power status of the block they're attached to. They're a simple inverter. Well, the fact that I used wood over here is meaningless. I just did it so that it looks different. I could have used dirt, or sand, or, like I said, anything that's full-sized and opaque. So this is sending the signal all the way up. It's powering this wood block, which turns the torch off. Torch being off means this hopper stays active. And once I craft string from all of these, I think I can even do this more or less manually, but I will once again need to make a couple of 1x1s. And a copper upgrade, which I don't have yet. You're going to use that, aren't you? Where are you on the ground? Use one from my my storage system. Thank you. Because that's why I have extras there. Why are you not? There we go. How much can you mass produce? Not enough. This is enough to start. I'm going to autocraft the rest. This turned out to not be practical. I will have to make something to collect this as well. We'll definitely have to make something to collect that as well. And that is the job of my good old friend, the modular router. You go there. First things first. Not get ahead of ourselves. Autocraft. Some string. So I'm going to put string on the output over here. Input is going to be a flax. That can go over here anywhere. Get one. Open you. Take you out of the loop. And you. Then I can take out all the dirt. Bingo. Clear the capacitato recipe. I no longer need to make them. How am I set here? Are you crafting? Oh, you're not crafting because you can't go through the hopper. How about now? Still not crafting. Because I turned you off because I was done making capacitatoes. Now you are back on. All right. I will stash my surplus rubber here. I will stash. Ooh. There's some potatoes. Good, it's not missing from there. What am I still missing? Nothing. So I can now go on. And get a modular router. Hello, spider. And this is why you should always build walls. I have the modular router. I'm going to need a sender. Sender Mark 1 is fine. stack upgrades, I'm going to pull them from above. And I need a collector, aka a vacuum. And I need to make a hopper. Easily done. And that router can go... I'm kind of crowded. How about here? I'm going to collect from the front. Only collect this one item, nothing else. As the first step. Second step is going to be... send it to the right. Grab some stack upgrades over here, since I'm not running this at the moment. And fourth is find something to put that string in. And the spider walked close enough to my mob grinder to be hit by the sword pedestal, which I have left on, and can strike downwards up to 5 blocks. Oops. My bad. Where was I? I was looking for one more. One by one. You would think I'd have some of these left over from other stuff I've turned in, but no, apparently not. Make 2 of them, because one needs to be used for that. Okay then. Upgrade it, prime it, stack goes in here, and this should be operational. Now I can put string in here. Turn off echo mode for a moment just so I can test it at full speed. 55. I think that was 54 to start with. Take my 4,000 string, which is way more than I need. I'll just have extra mana string. And now I think I have fully automated production of mana string, which is the next to last step. Why is it eating so much? Oh, it's eating so much salmon because I never put the full stack in. That's fine. Fish goes here. The cod chips. I've accidentally picked up something. And this I'm not even going to bother to turn on. And yes, see, this is automatically paused. This... Well, the one thing I think I missed explaining is this signal gets weaker the farther it goes. This is sort of like a temperature or a thermometer. It starts out not strong enough to reach the top. And that turns the torch on, and that pauses the hopper, and that lets the mana build up, and that will let this line of power slowly creep up to the top. At this point, it is going to oscillate around the equilibrium point, and this is completely dynamically regulated now. This is infusing string exactly as fast in the long term as the mana is coming in. And if the mana slows down or the mana speeds up, this will automatically self-adjust, which is far more robust than putting a manual timer on it. And if I even run out of food, it's going to stop dropping completely because the mana will stop coming in. So that is that. Once that is done, I am going to auto-craft the tiny potatoes, because I've already made the red dye. That's right here. That's all the red dye I have for that. I'm also going to need to infuse plain potatoes into tiny potatoes, which should go faster. Again, it tells you, and this display honors Botania's developers' wish of saying, it's going to take this much mana, this tiny little pixel. How much mana is that? It's a tiny little amount. You don't need to know numbers. Numbers are a tech thing. This is magic. Or so it goes. I need to make more salmon, though, quite possibly. How have I... Okay, those are sticks. Those are sticks because both of these are catching junk right now. Let's fix that. And I'm also... Where can I be on solid ground? I need to turn off the routing long enough so these fishers build up their internal inventory. I need to grab a raw salmon to reprogram my storage drawers. So right now this is stuck on sticks. And I'm going to throw those sticks away. Why are you still... There we go. Raw salmon. Perfect. That's a lot of... See, this is the reason I put it back on catching junk. I wanted more iron. And that's going to smelt down very much. And I had to build this dirt here because I have to crouch, use the configurator. And if I go all the way to the bottom, I can't reach. Junk net, junk net. I'm already up to 11 salmon, and this will catch fairly fast. Jetpack. Wow, loud. What exactly is that, and why is it so loud? That is the battery. That's the battery because the generators have... No, the batteries have not run out of juice. Still, I am out of potatoes. Fish went... Well, there'll be time to put more fish in later. I don't necessarily want to throw any of that out. This is doing very little at this point except making more potatoes. That's fine. If I wanted this to be a long-term power system, I would have some way of transferring the potatoes from there to here. But also, I would necessarily have just a bunch of open pipes on my bedroom roof. I would develop a much nicer build. But probably not make a fusion plant. I have made a fusion plant once, and I ended up not using it because it would turn off every time the server did its daily reset. Now, fortunately, they don't have any radiation, they don't explode. There were reactors that exploded. There still are. There are ones that have optional radiation poisoning that could potentially last like hours real time. But not, not a realistic delay. What can I do? I should stop these from falling down. This is not well planned. I thought I had enough space. And it turns out I did not. But this should help the food fall. There is nothing to do with this except wait at this point. So I'm going to call an early break at halfway point. Get yourself a tasty drink, do whatever else you need to do, and I will see you back in a few minutes. All right. It was a productive break for me because I've already figured out two things. One, the timing on the charcoal. I was off by a factor of 10. A lump of charcoal burns for 80 seconds. So a block burns for 800, and a furnace for 400 on a flower. So I need a 200-second delay, which is a minute and 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes 20 seconds, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So let's see what I can do here that gives me 3 minutes and 20 seconds of delay. Or just, 200 seconds. I don't actually care about the on versus off, because it's only the positive pulse that matters. And that's going to add a little bit of mana. Not much, but every little bit helps. Also, I am going to make... I mentioned lenses. You pretty much always want a potency lens. Because even though that spreader is as close to the pool as possible, it still helps if it's able to send twice as much mana per pulse. And so I'm going to... Well, I first need a mana lens that needs 1 pane of glass and 4 mana steel. Panes of glass I have in main storage. Two, three. I'm going to have to infuse the rest of these. And the Rune of Fire, I should have 2 because you make 2 basic runes. I'm going to break my own rule of saying never use the last rune, because I don't expect I'm going to be making any more Botania crafts. Oh, and I stacked 1 more dirt on top of these. Some food was still flying out, and that's not good. Pick that up. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and I have 1 of these. Throw that out there where it gets picked up. Put the router on economical mode because they are a little bit laggy. So my mana lens, the basic mana lens base, which does nothing, but must be crafted first, and now my potency lens. Oh, and that was even a quest. Let's see if I get anything useful for it. I have a couple of quests in line here. I have to make a potency and a velocity. I've done a little bit of experimenting, and I didn't notice much of a difference by combining them. Sometimes it matters. I really am bound by the mana spreader I have. You can only have a flower linked to 1 spreader, and this has 1 speed or 2, depending on how you upgrade it with lenses. But those can only do so much. I was catching all of that string. Where? How do I get an angle on this? Here we go. Those strings stay here. And we are already up to 400. I mentioned I went exploring. There is... No, let me turn my render distance back up. That island over there, I mentioned, has a well, hello, Wilden. Ever walk out into your front yard and something tries to kill you? I have. I don't care about you. Unicorn horn? Look, I'm a unicorn. I guess I got that as a drop? Or maybe that was a quest reward. That was probably a quest reward. Anyway, that island. That island also has a dungeon on it, and I did some exploring, looking for something in particular. That's where I found the jumpy feather and the kitty slippers. But I also found... Did I put it here? Or did I put it here? No. Did I put it in here? Don't do this to me. Oh, did I put it in my special magic? Yes, of course I put it here. The first place I would look. This is an overgrowth seed. This is rare dungeon loot, uncraftable. It doubles the mana production rate of whatever flower you plant on the grass above it. Like that. And hopefully I can crank down the timing delay on that hovering hourglass. Now, unfortunately, I can't make it too fast because I'm still going to run into some mana loss issues. This flower can't empty itself through that spreader fast enough. Yes, Minecraft is just like real life in that way. Put something in a special spot so you don't forget it, and then you forget it. Ruby stuffed potatoes. You're the steak. Jetpack. Can I trim this down to 6 seconds and not waste mana? Like, if I could suck mana out of this flower as fast as it generates, I could put that timer at 3 seconds. But I would need to make so much more advancement into the Botania mod to get a spreader that works that fast. That was one of the big meals. That's fine. So the question is, can I crank this down to even 5 seconds? I almost certainly can't get 4. 5 seconds. I've deliberately alternated the food so that the really nutritious stuff is every other one. Yeah, I think 5 seconds is sustainable here with no waste. And that's all I'm going to... that's as far as I'm going to push it. But still, that doubling did help. Dirt can go here. Still have raw cod. Cook that. Cooked rice is... Cooked rice is only worth 6 hunger. I don't like how Minecraft works on an icon system. This is 8 hunger but it's 4 icons because each icon is 2 points. It makes it confusing to be clear about what you're talking about. Also, hunger. See your hunger bar? The more points of hunger you have, the less hungry you are. It's named backwards. It should be called the food bar. But it's not. Also, you as a player have hunger points, but food has nutrition points. They're the same thing. They just change what they're called based on where they are. I have opinions. Nomenclature in games is something that I notice mistakes on fairly easily. And you're still too fast for some reason. What can I do? Oh, I can start the cooking. I can also double check how far this has gone. And I can get rained on. Rain is good. I can stay dry. This is actually also a glider. I think if you don't use it as a shield, it's a glider. It's basically early Elytra, except not as good. And you can't craft it, you have to get lucky and find it in a dungeon. But it is kind of neat. And you should totally ignore that color pattern. I'm sure it's meaningless and totally not nefarious. Corporations that make umbrellas are nothing but good. I don't need anything else from this system, I'm pretty sure. Let's try to estimate, will I need to refill any of these food? No, I am already a sixth of the way there. Yeah. Yes, that is going to last. I don't imagine I will have to remake any good food. And here... I can take all that out. This can go back in the farm. There we go. Lead and redstone. And cured rubber can go here, and the excess cured rubber. Potatoes can go... Oh, here's one of the crates I could have reused. Potatoes for the energy. I like how this is going. This is about halfway done. Manually refill this. My inventory of some excess stuff I've built up. Why are you so slow? I've never eaten cooked salmon. We have to fix that. Let's take some fall damage on my hunger. Let's take more fall damage on my hunger. I should refill my jetpack. I'm at blimp height. That seriously didn't take me all the way down? You can't eat food unless you are slightly hungry. There we go. 2 more unique types of food in my repertoire. The pack now fully restocked. If I were playing long term, there are a couple of different... Let's me move away from that. I cannot put mufflers in the battery. It does not take any upgrades. I also presumed it would really hurt my hunger to be balanced, but I've noticed the one that makes you it works similarly, but with drowning damage underwater is, or fire damage in lava works likewise. It's very small amounts of damage relatively. I feel, or at least not enough to be balanced. Hello, Father Hendricks. Of course, this jump height makes getting criticals harder. What did I get? Magic chainmail, which I can't even effectively melt down. So, away it goes. Cooked cod, I don't need. That is making mana as fast as I can. I'm charging batteries as fast as I can. I could start baking the potatoes. I know I need to bake 3,000 of these. Oh, that has a copper upgrade in it. Okay, this is fine. I didn't see the little copper thing in the corner before. This can go here. This can go here. Yep. Stacks O potato. Now, which of these am I actually mass producing? Top right. Oh, the steak and potatoes. I should turn that in because I think I have that done. And the tiny potato mask. I don't even have one yet, so I cannot put one in. Steak and potato. Where are those? That's a stuffed potato. That is strange because I've made the cooked rice. Oh, it's here. Right. Clear inventory just to make this as fast as possible. Oh, and this doesn't stack up to 64. That's annoying. Quick. Wrong button. Yes, I can see already. I also had to put a double upgrade in here because the stack size is not the standard 64. I need about 100. There we go. And I think that's also the reason I chose not to use this as a food over here. Because it doesn't stack as much. Gotta get my stuff back. Refill my hotbar. Three, four. That has to be in my inventory. That should be... There's so much stuff here. And throw this in. Nether wart. 1. That was not a great harvest. So I am cooking. I'm baking these. I'm charging these. That I'm infusing, that I will infuse. I think that was there. Yes. What to do in the meantime? There's not much I can do to manually boost any of this. This might be an early end to the stream. I would love to sit here and show you the end of this, but it's going to be boring just watching potatoes drop into the pot. I can at least build. You see that the problem I had with submitting that, the 13 at a time, that's going to be even worse with the Capacitatoes. Those don't stack at all, and I am not going to pick up 3,000 single objects and submit them 27 at a time. I need a system that will drop them continuously. continuously on me. And I can at least get that started. That's going to need a rapid hopper. I'm also going to send this through an open crate, because it's passed through and drops things as fast as they come in, and a rapid hopper is pretty good at dropping them. I think I just need planks for that. And do I just need 5? No, I need 7. That was very strange that it didn't register immediately. I need a lever. Should always have a lever. If there's one thing you should always have in your inventory somewhere, it's a redstone lever. I'm a firm believer in having the ability to just give redstone signals to something at any given moment. And a good spot to drop stuff on myself will be... Well, the potatoes are going to be up there, so it shouldn't be far from there. Thank God that battery's loud. Is there... way... Sound? Extreme sound muffler. No. No. That didn't help. There, and of course, let's verify. When I release the signal, everything just comes right out. Great. That'll work fine, and then I will just stand here, flip the lever, and go in here, do this, and then just spam submit with an empty inventory. And I believe that's the fastest I can do this without a dedicated quest submission item, which does not seem to exist. So that's all set. How close am I to being done with that? No, not as close as I would like. This watched pot is refusing to boil. So, yeah, I think I am going to call this an early night. I'm out of interesting things to do. Next week I move this house. The house that I started out having brain betters suggest would be a good spot to live in. Get to show off a little bit of a tech mod, and then it takes too long to reload from one world to another. These mods take several minutes of loading time, so I think the continuation of Travel and Create will have to wait for the week after that. So until then, thank you for joining me. Hope to see you next week for the thrilling conclusion, when I spam that submit button and I turn in all the potatoes. Have yourselves a... when you're feeding steak and potatoes, what specifically do I have left on the quest? I have just plain baked potatoes, which I am currently baking in the Create conveyor belt. I have the Capacitatoes, half of which I have charged. I have the tiny potato mask, I am currently infusing the string, and I have the red dye that I made with the create-powered millstone on a bunch of roses that I mass-produced with bone meal. These tall flowers can be cloned by bone mealing them. And finally, I have the tiny potato, which is done by simply infusing the potatoes directly into tiny potatoes. No crafting necessary afterwards. So I am waiting mostly for my mana chain here to infuse string, and then I'll put potatoes in its place, and I am waiting for that cooker over here to finish these 26 remaining potatoes. Okay, so this is done. This is effectively done. I can turn the baked potatoes in right now. And wow, that was almost perfect. That's probably the closest I have come to an exact amount with a turn-in. And you can go in here. So yeah, one more. I have nothing to put into these yet because I don't even have one, and I've not been putting them in until I've been truly mass-producing it, not when I hit the first one. So yes, one more snuck in. Not that it matters, that would have happened last time anyway. Or next time. And I will have yourselves a good rest of the weekend, and see you on Sunday. Good night.